I mean, welcome everybody to this meeting of the Town of Bandjam. It's 17th November, the last Town of Bandjam meeting of the year. So you've got quite a full agenda, which means we'll move on to the first one, apologies and absence. No apologies. Declarations of interest, most people have made them anyway. It's something extraordinary in the meeting, just say. In which case we'll move on to item 3. Which is minutes. Have you read them? Are you happy with them?
Yeah, agreed.
Agreed. Commissioner Hans agreed. Right, thank you. Right, in which case we move on to more serious subjects, and well, not that the minutes aren't serious, but we've got budget. When I look down the budget, the first budget is just the current budget. You look at that, you can see what we have and what we haven't got. Is there anything that concern or questions that you wish to ask on that? Most of it's sort of as it is, and where we've been and what we've done. But they're quite a way through the year of events now, so fortunately the money we committed to spend has been spent, which is what it's there for. Has anyone got any questions on that? Just give you a few more minutes to look through it rather than go page by page, because there isn't page by page. John?
Yeah, page 441, the celebrating Buckingham Day. Why did we spend more money than 2,000?
We added in some additional bits to cover the twinning ceremony that took place. So there was a twinning EMR that we took some money out of to balance that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Are you happy with that, John?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Anybody else got any questions, queries, concerns, or notices? Wrong. Take it that isn't. In which case we'll move on to 4.2, which is probably a bit more serious because this is I have to confess these new figures is staff who's put together a budget for 26-27, and there are some minor increases in it. But I think it'd be worth going through it, and then I'm sure the town clerk will illuminate any questions and concerns within it.
Okay.
Do you want to take us through it?
It's the same process as last year. This is the first reading. Obviously, if we then go off to resources for council, we've got the 3 step. So a couple of bits to note. I have a column there which I put, which is for predicted against budgeted. Sometimes these things are different, and we tend to budget against the predicted. I don't put in a general percentage increase, so I do try and do each individual line separately. Probably the main thing to note is the NI pensions and salaries categories are all holding figures, because wages, salaries, etc. is a matter for resources. Now just a holding figure at the moment. It gives you a pretty good idea of where we're looking for this budget, which, if you look at the bottom, is overall looking at being a 4.59% increase. There are a couple of bits. One of the issues is the icicle light's going to need replacing on the big long strip. We are still waiting for a full quote on that, so it's possible that figure might change. We have been chasing to try and get it, but people that do Christmas lights are quite busy at the moment, so we're difficult getting somebody to respond to us. So that may, I've been fairly generous, that might come down slightly. Otherwise, I've put notes next to every budget line as to what the reasons why for the change. So questions been required, Chair.
Any points? Any concerns? Just turning back to town clerk's point on 4201, you will notice that there is a slight difference when the lights go on of the lights on one side of the town are newer and the lights on the other end, and they probably reached the end of their useful life. So we better replace them, and they'll be better lights than the ones which are up, if you know what I mean. And they only keep coming down and going up, coming down and going up. They don't last forever.
They don't last forever, and they're starting to yellow and fade a bit. So this is probably the last year we're going to get anything decent out of them in the legal process.
Any other comments on anything else? This is your chance to influence it. Or ask relevant questions. You'll know that there's increases in the markets, but they're increases which we agree.
The markets, that's increasing of my expected income.
Yeah, exactly. We're hoping that it's increased. Always good to get income out of the market. John, sorry.
Yeah, I'm just commenting upon the costs of twinning. I think we've always said that twinning is something that we don't tend to put money into because it's dealt with by the Twinning Association, which is independent of the council and so forth. But it seems that we are spending some money on twinning. We need to be more transparent about that, or have I misunderstood it because we said it in the past?
There's a very small budget, it's £100, which is there in case if one of their mayors dies and we need to buy them a gift of some condolence card or something. It's just a contingency.
That's fair.
You will.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah. Is it just in case rather than a definitely going to be spent every year?
Definitely expecting that. Okay.
Cool.
John.
But we spent an extra £600 as part of the Celebrate Buckingham Day on twinning. Have I misunderstood that?
No.
We did, we have an earmark reserve that we've had for a long time for twinning.
Yeah.
So public money is going to twinning.
It went to the ceremony that we had at Celebrate Buckingham. We needed to have a stage and get things printed.
Okay.
It was
One-off type thing, wasn't it?
yeah, it's one off.
Also part of the event, the twinning ceremony took place as part of Celebrate Buckingham.
If you go to page 41 or 541, you'll see an earmark reserve, John, which we have money in earmark reserve, which is there for if we needed to do something. But the point you said goes back to the council decision. I know where you're coming from, where they said that they would not cost us any money, and that's where you're coming from, isn't it? That's why your question, why we spent £600 on it.
I would say that the agreement was that the council said that specific twinning relationship wasn't going to cost. We still have two other twin towns as well, and there has always been a small amount of budget for those.
John.
But when we entered into agreement that we would twin with this town in Italy, we did that on the basis that it would not cost our public purse any money.
Yeah.
But it appears to have done so. I just think we need to be mindful of that. That's all I'm saying.
I would say, I mean, this was all reported at the time. The part, as far as I remember, it's part of the plan. It certainly would have been reported afterwards. I spent the additional monies, in fact, we took money out of the earmark reserve, but we can't post a twinning ceremony without. To get a few bits done. It wasn't a particularly expensive, and it was all part of the event. People came to celebrate Buckingham because the twinning ceremony was going to happen.
I get all of that. But when the Twinning Association came to us saying we want to join with this place in Italy, they specifically said it will not cost them public money, and it has cost public money. That's the point I'm making. So I think before we start twinning with any other town, we need to be very clear what money is going to be incidentally required. I'm not challenging the decision to spend the money, because clearly it had to be done and so on to provide a reasonable and proper event for everything else. I get all of that, but I feel a bit hoodwinked by the Twinning Association. And they said it wouldn't cost us money, but it has done.
I would say that little bit. It was my decision that we would spend that money, not the Twinning Association. I spoke to the chair, spoke to the mayor. It came to committee. It wasn't the Twinning Association that picked anybody. It just felt that if we were going to host guests, that we needed to do at least the minimum to do it properly.
Would
But
it,
it wasn't the Twinning Association's decision to do that.
what we had, John, was, we had to find somewhere to do the actual civic ceremony, which is the council bit to do. What we avoided having was a civic dinner, which would have cost us a lot of money. So we did it in conjunction with celebrate Buckingham Day, and we did bring it to committee, we did discuss it, and we did note it. If you,
May I just elaborate on that? We didn't pay for anything like accommodation, having them over or feeding them, but we had a stage which we probably wouldn't have had, but we used that stage for entertainment. It was part of the event, so it wasn't entirely.
Okay, I'm just making. Yeah,
I think if you want, John, I think it's reasonable, because it was on the other page, that record a note that, if, you know, you want to note that we discussed it and that you raised that concern. I don't think that's unreasonable.
I'm just noting it, that's what I'm noting, it's okay, I'm not making, I don't want to make a big issue about it. But I feel a little bit,
Okay,
that's all, because I mean, you know, some of us have gone public and said, this doesn't cost the public place anything in the town, and it has.
but
So I feel a bit of a fraud, that's what I'm saying.
we did use it to do other things, Matt.
I think that there's a vast difference between bumping up our event that we've got having anyway, in order to accommodate that signing of the twinning agreement, or people having a jolly to Italy paid for out of the public purse. And that certainly hasn't happened. I know that the previous mayor did go to Valmajera, but they paid for it out of their own pocket. And I think that's where the, is it going to cost the council anything? Actually, the crux of where that came from was that councillors going on a jolly. No, we boosted the Celebrate Buckingham event in order to make it encompassing of that, and that's where that money's that increased cost came from.
Lucy,
Because didn't the singers use the stage as well?
Yeah,
They did,
yeah.
So we would have had
The
maybe a
entertainment
stage
was
for
the
the
Yeah.
so what the
entertainment.
town clerk said is the stage, so it's probably to say it's put there for the twinning used it as well. It was used for the event, and
We probably wouldn't have had a stage if
No.
it wasn't for the twinning, but as you had that, we used it for all of the entertainment.
and it worked reasonably well, and it was a dry day.
It was a fair year, wasn't it?
It was a dry part of the year. Can I take it that we are content with these figures,
Yeah,
and thank the town clerk for producing them? Can we propose we record our thanks?
Yeah,
And right, okay, and then one vote for our thanks. And then second vote is to say we agree these figures. Proposer and seconder, please.
you'll propose it.
Okay, right, all those in favour? Thank you. Then we'll move swiftly on. But thank you for that. It's always worth discussing these things, because it's double money and it should be open and above board. Right, item 6, receive and bill report, the finance. Store fees,
Yeah, sorry.
store fees, I didn't say it there, did I?
No, it would have been me anyway, so sorry. I have had a long chat with the market manager. Our recommendation between us is to pay out £1 to the price of flea market pitch and £1 to the street market pitch. However, I did misunderstand what I was told, and actually the market manager's recommendation is that gazebo hire should be frozen, because he feels that it encourages people to use the flea market when weather is poor. So I would request that we slightly amend the gazebo hire to be frozen at £4 and everything else to go up by £1.
Lucy,
It all sounds very sensible and quite reasonable. I propose we accept the amended recommendation to increase the pitch type fees by £1, but to freeze the gazebo higher.
Lisa.
Do-
You second it.
I was just going to
Yeah,
second.
just second it, but yeah,
We're
could
doing
you
a
just put your hand up?
You've got your hand up and then John. So,
No, I was going to second it, but Ravina's hand, but I was
okay, so John.
It's just a typo, I think, but in the grid shown, as street markets hyphen no change proposed. But actually, there is a change proposed, as in the same one below for flea markets.
Yes, that is a typo, my bad, sorry.
I thought so.
Yeah, that's that one.
And I think we all agree that the flea market thing is a good thing to do because it keeps them coming. And it does make the town look nicer at the weekend.
It's nice and busy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's good.
And you can always buy something from there if you, some of the things on there are really quite interesting, aren't they? Or have a walk down memory lane. But okay, in which case, propose that we agree that kind of proposal, the second, or we've done that. Right, we've done that. All those in favour, I know, I was just making sure we voted on it. Right. Okay.
Just a point of information.
Yeah.
Street market, flea market, is that purely about the location? Or is it about the nature of the store?
They are run very differently, yeah, so the street market is the big one up at the ballroom, which also runs on a Tuesday as well as the Saturday. The flea market is the bit in the castle grounds, but only runs on the Saturday. The street market is generally professionals, whereas the flea market is a little bit more relaxed.
Okay, all right.
I mean, to be fair,
He's a rich.
There are different rules with buying, you know, like I think the flea market is no new goods are allowed to be sold, and there's a few other different things, and there's not the requirement to have traders licenses, etc. I don't think it's
correct.
yeah.
That's a different regulation. But just to note that before we had the flea market, there was nothing going on there on Saturday, so and whatever it brings in is good. It was really done just to actually improve the ambience of the town, really. In which case, we've agreed and voted on that. We'll move on to 9. You want to, town clerk, take us through these policy rules? Market to receive.
Market rules and regulations.
Yeah, market rules and regulations. Yeah.
I'm not recommending any changes. Roughly, I've been through it. It's working well. We're quite happy with the rules as they stand.
Okay, are we happy to note them?
Yeah.
Lucy?
Yep, suppose we accept them.
Agree.
Right,
Okay.
that's seconded by Lucy. All those in favour? Okay, this one. Right, updates on representatives on outside bodies.
Event store fees, isn't it?
Oh, event store fees, yes, sorry, yeah.
So the recommendation, this is for when we have traders at our events. Recommendation is that we hold them as they are. It's not a big money maker, and it's not really in our interest to price people out of being able to attend. So the recommendation is this: we just hold them as.
That proposal.
I propose that we accept the recommendation.
Again, all those in favour?
Seconded by me.
Right. By you, me as a person, if I ever, right, I am actually flicked up to that, yeah, thank you. Right, now we'll get on to where I thought I was going to be. Item 7, which is the report and letter from PSO. No.
I was very pleased to see that that the PSPA for Buckingham had been withdrawn. I've written to Councillor Steve Bowles to ask him when he's going to get somebody to come and take his signs down, but I've not had a response yet. I did copy our 3 Shire councillors in on that letter, no response.
Lucy,
Could we minute our thanks to Mayor Davies for the excellent work in getting the PSPO lifted, which now means a lot less paperwork and red tape, or rather not renewed, a lot less paperwork and red tape when we're putting on events, and people of Buckingham can enjoy themselves freely and responsibly.
happy to do that.
I would say that I didn't get it removed. I went to a couple of meetings and was a bit verbose about
But without
the
that, it would
reasons
still be in place.
reasons we didn't need it to be. And I think our response to the consultation on it was based on partly on my thoughts on it. However, it wasn't me that did it. The officers done their job as they always do.
The officer.
Yeah.
I also think that it must be noted when it was notice with that and it changed historically. So I do think that between the office and they did 10 meetings and raised the placard of the fact that it didn't really fit in with what we're doing in Buckingham. We have to be minded of the fact that it's gone, but they'll review it again in the future. So we're keeping this knowledge in your head for when it comes back again, because it'll be a different set of people reviewing it, and they may try and do the same thing. Andy. Oh, sorry. So that agreed that we'll minute up thanks to everyone involved in the office.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right, local business engagement.
Just a note really, it's just a new post and letting you some of the bits that you can get in and get them on with.
Comments?
Right.
We should well and good luck, yeah.
For us to vote on.
Can I just, I think it was on this report, that the officer visited all 2.6, the officer visited all shops and Fadwell to confirm the agreement with flying St George Cross for the Rugby World Cup semi-final. It was the Women's Rugby Cup semi-final. I think that does need to be corrected in the report, please.
I think that's quite significant difference. John.
Trophies worth.
I agree with that on the basis that any other reference to the men's Rugby World Cup finals and stuff like that are referred to as the men's Rugby Cup. So we don't.
No, the name of the competition was the Women's Rugby World Cup.
I know, but we should refer to the other one.
No, because it's not called the Men's Rugby Cup. That is called the Rugby World Cup. It is not called the Men's Rugby World Cup. This is called the Women's Rugby.
We can call it what we want to
No,
call
it
it.
can't, because it's an international competition.
Sorry, are we having a meeting here? Do people actually have to put their hand up?
We have both hands. You carry on talking.
But the mayor's responding to what I'm saying without putting a hand up to
Well, you
interrupt.
say
I'm
what
not
you
happy
want.
with that.
Okay, say what you want to say, and then we'll take.
What I want to say is that we're making a point of it being the Women's Rugby World Cup. Great. I think at the town council we should be practicing equality, so that if we're ever doing something similar to the Men's Rugby World Cup, we should describe it as such in the notes of the meeting. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, is that seconded?
No.
No,
It's not.
And it's not on the agenda, it says, but you'll have to put it on the agenda. So that was just a minute correction or a verbal correction of factual accuracy, which it
In the
wasn't
report.
then,
In
it
the
wasn't
report.
in the report. But if you want to put it on agenda, John, to discuss, you're welcome to do so. We'll discuss it. Very fair. Right, in which case we've done that. I believe policies, tickets policies. Right.
We have a carers policy where you can receive up to 2 free carer tickets when attending our event. This has been in years. It's called Any Issues. It is basically exactly the same as quite a lot of other organisations do. And we're recommending that we renew it unchanged.
Lisa first,
Thank you, propose that we accept these.
is that seconded?
Seconded.
Any comments? Okay, we'll move swiftly on then.
You vote
To
on
the vote, all those in favour? That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. I heard that, yeah, it's like this, to vote. I've got it in my head that we have done, you know, it was all done as well. Those sleepy days. Right, thank you, which is item 10, which is updates on outside bodies and representations. Any comments? No.
Noted.
Noted. Any comments I've got to say, probably not to do with this committee, so we're looking for another committee. More relevant. Case we note that. Item 11, forthcoming events, local democracy, which what date's that on?
Thursday, it's this Thursday.
This Thursday. Nina's leaving on that.
I just sent an email, don't give you emails.
I was reading lots of emails there, that wasn't one of them.
Nothing much to add other than what's in the report, Chair. Just remember to note that it's still in bed on Thursday.
Yeah, who's down from us to go, just for the record?
Big list, isn't there?
Right, that's it, it's a big list, thank you, just to record who's going. Thanks. Thank you. And of course, we moved it, the date of it very recently. It has been, we said it started many years ago, and it does actually bring the two schools together in discussing issues of their concern, like ours.
Some great questions.
And it'll be interesting to actually hear what they've got to say. There's a voice that we probably don't hear. So, probably hear it in our own households, but not.
You club, but
Yeah, but it's a voice that needs to be heard.
Yeah.
So I look forward to seeing everyone on Thursday. And we'll move on from that to Christmas lights switch on, which just to know the date we can be doing on the Andy.
I haven't heard whether the council are being asked to participate in the Christmas light switch on as we normally do around the town.
the lights, the actual.
Just looking at
Yeah, that's a very big one.
the email I've looked.
It's a very big one.
Mm.
Could we take it, those who are willing to switch lights on, put their hands up, obviously not the mayor, because they can't do that, should be doing something else. But those who will switch a set of lights on,
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought it was you press the button, that was it.
Yeah, it is, yeah, it's magic. It's
Magic.
magic, yeah.
It is, unfortunately, we all have to go and switch.
It's a magic button.
The magic button.
Magic button.
Okay.
Really ruined it for me now.
Is that like Father Christmas is real, Tony. You can take it from us. Right, small business Saturday.
Yes, so Small Business Saturday is an event that we are pushing more and more, and one that the new Business and Community Engagement Officer is leading on. She's got good uptake from the local businesses, and there's been some quite constructive relationships that starting to be built. The report speaks for itself, really. She's got some prizes ready. There'll be a stamp card, there'll be some entertainment. I have nothing much more to add than that is in the in her report. So
Just that this looks fantastic. And thanks, because there's obviously a lot of work gone into this, not just on the ideas, but also engaging with our local businesses, of which we're fortunate to have quite a few. Yeah, really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah.
We've done there's been some what they call it, there's been some social media on this, and everyone's got their own social media, perhaps they'll post it as well. And it is growing, hasn't it? And it's a good thing for the town. It's good to see that people have donated prizes and been involved, which is a big thing.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah, thanks.
that's where I'm going with it. Minute our thanks. Both by Lisa and definitely by somebody.
Yeah.
Receive minute our thanks. It's good to encourage people, and it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Right, we've done that, so then we'll move that, okay, we'll move on to the recruitment parade. Anything to state on that? It's coming around already. Has there been a vote through town clerk being in the office and got the actual budget, which is for 4.3, which is their budget, which we've had discussions around. They thought the entire budget was theirs at one point, and wasn't, because we have our own costs actually to administer and run the event. The total budget, as you can see, is £6,100, which is no small amount for town council to budget to do such an event. So that budget doesn't include volunteers who man the barriers and the officers and staff who man the barriers either.
Yeah.
That's just the cost of actually doing these things. So it's no small thing. Lucy.
Could I ask if we ever get a breakdown of funds spent from the Christmas parade?
We do. You get their accounts and we've had them this year. We've they've been on an agenda. I'll check.
Fantastic, thank you.
Any other questions? Because we did have that discussion last year. We wanted to see what we actually spent our money on, and because when you spend through nearly £4,000, you really want to see what it's been spent on.
Yeah.
And actually, the auditors want to see what we spent it on as well. Can't just handle that some money over it's on trust. Really, it is on trust, but you have to have proof where you've actually done it. And they've never not spent it on what they're supposed to, left to my knowledge.
No, we do get their accounts as well.
Yeah.
All over and above board.
I see.
There's a recommendation at the top. But before we take recommendations, is there any further meetings done before the
Not a sit down meeting, so it's in regular contact on the issue. Talking to them Thursday, Friday last week. So yeah, all is fine.
Okay, so I hope everyone will be there. It's always a joyous occasion, walk up the town. Do we know they've been in touch with the mayor or anyone, because sometimes they ask previous mayors, have sometimes been asked to be judges.
I've had no correspondence.
And we will remind them that the mayor hands out the prizes because we actually pay for them. So which is usually the thing that we actually pay for them. So sure that will be, because we've had issues with that before, but it's one of these things that whoever's mayor of the town gets the privilege of doing these things. And it could be anyone looking around the table. It could be lots of other people's opportunity in the future. Right, so we happy to agree the recommendation?
Yeah.
Proposer, please. Proposed by Andy, seconded by Tony. All those in favour? In which case we move swiftly on to community fair.
Same as usual.
Noted.
Nothing particularly different at all. It is as you would expect.
Any questions?
No.
I just one to ask, do you anticipate there being any issues with us by the time we get to the community fair on the roof?
No,
I won't hold you to it, but you anticipate not
I do
having.
not anticipate.
No.
any-
I'm going to hold you to that.
There's been some roof issues all
There's
over the
some roof
place.
issues in the town, so we're not
There
going to.
have been some roof issues. I'm not anticipating these issues.
No, okay, in which case, can I?
It wasn't until now. Now,
Yeah. Which we, can I have a pose for a second for the recommendations? Okay, we'll go with Fran and Lucy again. Right, all those in favour? Thank you. Which case we now move on to Holocaust Memorial Day, which is a big event in the Lucy.
Just, and I'm not trying to be deliberately provocative, but in 2.1, I believe we should add the subsequent genocide that's currently going on in Gaza to that list, or we mention none of them at all because it.
They are. The
Yeah.
Holocaust Memorial Day is a thing, it's not ours.
National event.
Yeah, no, it's just.
And that's what
Yeah.
they have, that's the ones that the Holocaust Memorial Day recognises. It's not something that we have.
Fair enough.
Made up.
I share.
Do you want
Is
to
it,
play?
would it be? I would, in that case, I would feel more comfortable if there were a note somewhere in 2.1 to say that those are not as defined by the Holocaust Memorial Day group, organisation, whatever they are.
We play a
Trust.
very, very straight back with this. It is, everything we do is very much based on.
Yeah, so
national events.
just more just for the minute. So after and before, as described or as stated by the HMD Trust or something like that, just so that it's not our words.
I was just going to say that it does say including those in Cambodia, Rwanda, Bosnia and Darfur. The definition of the Holocaust Memorial Day, as the town clerk says,
Fair enough.
is from that. There is obviously huge amounts of discussion as to whether what has gone on in Gaza actually fulfills the definition of genocide. I think it would be put ourselves in a difficult position were we to mention it as a town council. Personally, I believe it is genocide, but my personal belief in that doesn't dictate the policy.
And can I come?
I just there was one ton of people just to say in the words second line down, as well as genocides including such, so it recognises that that wasn't where it was, and it's an evolving pitch, and Rabina had a hand at the.
So I was going to point that out as well as in subsequent genocides. And currently there's Gaza, there's Sudan, there's Congo, which are all recognised as genocides by all the major agencies. If our government refuses to recognise them, it doesn't mean it's not a genocide happening, because we can see it on our screens 24/7.
But we're struggling a little topic, Chair. This is the Town Central Events Committee, and this item is to talk about the Holocaust Memorial Day, not wider issues. Should you wish to discuss wider issues, that would be a matter for full council and should be agended appropriately.
Okay, we'll come to that. Andy had his note, and then we're going to go back to Lucy because she had a hand at first. After
I'm
Andy.
just going to shut it down.
No, it's all right. Lucy, right.
I was just going to say, that's why I said I'm not saying this to be controversial or in any way. I wasn't aware that that was the HMD definition. I thought it was our own town council wording. Now that I've had that clarification from the clerk, that's fine.
Yeah.
Thank
No
you.
need
didn't
to-
mean to.
I wasn't- As I said, I wasn't trying to open up some big controversial discourse. I think we're all probably of a pretty similar opinion on most world matters and the horrible things that are going on. I was just unclear about whether it was our wording or extent.
Thank you. I mean, of course, 2.2, we will be fortunate to hear from the children, whatever, which is the best bit in some ways, is hearing how the young people interpret it. And actually, they may have thoughts of their own, so we'll listen carefully to what they say. So are we happy to know that we've had a sensitive conversation around this? We know the town clerk says if we need to do now, that's full council issue. I think we all have issues of conscience. And we would like to agree the recommendation. Those in favour of agreeing the recommendation and a proposer and secretary. Moved by Andy, seconded by Lucy. All those in favour?
Just for information, Chair, I saw the film Nuremberg weekend.
Yeah.
It's well worth seeing. It's a very good film.
Don't tell me anything. Is there any trials that I need to know anything different happened in the Norville trial, or is it just a rerun of it?
Well, read about it. It's a very
I think it's a good thing to do, but thank you. We'll all have our Christmas viewing to do.
don't you want that Christmas?
No, that's what I'm getting at.
Christmas drama.
It's not a Christmas thing, is it? Right, thank you. Item 12, calendar of events F. Lucy.
Really happy to see that Pancake Race is going to be on a Tuesday this year instead of a Thursday, which always throws people off a little bit, I think.
So you've said that.
Oh, is that a typo? Oh,
I double check that's correct.
I did bring this up when we looked at this at the last meeting, that it was down for Tuesday, and we'd made the decision that we would move it to a Thursday because of the traffic in and out of the churchyard area because of the lunch on a Tuesday. Therefore we decided to move it to a Thursday, and I did question at the last meeting whether that was correct or not.
Sorry, that's my
19th. Thank you.
I retract my joy.
But the day, just for information, the days when people had more will with these things, we used to do it in the town centre.
Yeah.
And our great joy was that Councillor Isham always volunteered to be the actual thing they run round. Councillor Isham used to stand by the old jail, and he had to move different districts in different ages, and he felt really proud standing there with Edward running around Councillor Isham. Not very often councillors get people to run around after them, but Councillor Isham did. It was always one of the joys of it. He was so proud, but we would stop them doing it down there, and that's where we ended up at the church.
Trip hazard.
The trip hazard, yeah. But it's slightly took the joy away from it. Lucy.
Would there be any, sorry, this isn't a discussion point, any provision for doing it in the cattle pens?
It's big kids go over.
Is this a surface?
That's fair.
It's a much nicer surface for cooking.
It's easy to fall on grass than.
Yeah, well,
Can I just say that I've booked it in to not rain again this year?
Thank you. You did a really good job last year.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's for next year, then.
Andy seconded that you put it in rain. Can we all vote on that?
Not to rain.
Not to rain, but all vote on. Anything else on there? A Schroeder's Tuesday food fair, which of course is we started that some years ago. That's been quite a good event, and Commonwealth Flag Day in March, and easy events in March. So if you look at that, I don't think that's there is a gap for Christmas. We're not doing much at all, so apart from eating and seeing our families, I hope, catching up with the things that we need to do at that time of year. Or go to the winter solstice like I will, if I get a chance. Right, thank you. In which case we'll move on to events review, and the first event review can't really just verbal.
I can read out
Yeah,
the town clerk's notes to me. Approximately 90 people attended, good turnout, arts and crafts was really popular, well attended, popular event.
yeah, I went to it, and there was a lot of beautiful voices. There was what they called the
Stagecoach.
stagecoach, thank you, and in the corner, and there was lots of young people turned up it was like, you know, not like karaoke, but they were all giving their test of their voice, and there was some pretty good renditions of their choice in music, and they all looked so proud when they finished singing, come away from it, you know, and I think I could have quite done that at their age, but they got a lot out of it. I don't know.
Did you not sing in Welsh when you were
I
there?
did sing in Welsh when I was little. Yeah, I won a prize actually for singing in Welsh at Calvert Christmas party.
Wasn't a leak.
Well, I couldn't speak English, so they thought I was singing in Welsh. And I had speech therapy for them, so, and I think they were just being nice to me, Andy. To be honest. Right, in which case we move on to the river rinse. There's a nice report from the Estates Manager, Nina here, which I expect we looked at. Lucy.
2 or 3 things. One, what happened to the cattle horns that got found?
The bottom,
The cattle horns.
Ah,
that one's still the bottom.
It says more unusual finds included an old milk churn, a pair of cattle horns, and over 30 empty sherry bottles. What happened to the cattle horns?
I would have to check. I don't know.
Only because I
Are you
want
looking for
them.
a sec?
Yeah.
Robin is blowing it at the.
yeah, yeah.
And
Brother Robin's house.
well, that's where I wanted to put this, but on mine. The other thing, propose we accept the recommendation to sort of prioritise or make the section from the Flush to Fisher's Field just as an operational matter by Green Spaces team and Story Sabbatical Club. But obviously the banks are quite inaccessible down that bit and it's probably a safety matter. So I recommend propose that we accept recommendation 1.2.
John?
I'll second that. But I just want to clarify to Fisherfield, does that mean all the way around Fisherfield? Because there's obviously inaccessible bits. There is one accessible bit around Fisherfield, but then it becomes inaccessible again. As you head out of town towards
I think, John, these are observations because I was, when you get to that section, as you go around the back of Hunter Street, you cut around, there's nowhere really the public can get. It's a very enclosed section. It's very interesting to look at if you ever start to walk it, which I have. But then when you get to the Tinget Road Bridge, if you ever get a chance to walk it, you'd be surprised how low it is. Tinget Road Bridge, it's not very high at all. And then when you get through the Tinget Road Bridge, you can then walk over the original Tinget Road Bridge, which still lays in the river, which they put it in the river when the council at some point replaced the bridge. They didn't take it away, they just left it in the river. But then there was some activities of residents and volunteers in that section round to the weir, because you can get access at that point. So where people gathered after picking litter up, they came and met us there. People did, and we had a bacon sandwich, which is always something I value in the day, a bacon sandwich. But we did do that. So but we won't be doing that, necessarily that stretch again for some time because we don't do the same stretches every year. I don't know. Right.
Understand the reasons for this recommendation. However, we were on the railway walk and we were finding huge amounts of rubbish and debris that had been dumped up there. There was all sorts of things that we found up there which we had to leave for Green Spaces to come and pick up during the week. So I think there's probably scope to have it as litter picking away from the river on that occasion again, because we were busy. We weren't just standing around waiting for you to come out of the river. Not you particularly, but like the state Sabbatical to come out of the river. There was plenty to be getting on with.
Andy.
Thank you. Can we minute our thanks to this Stowe Sub Aqua Club, without whom we couldn't be able to carry on with this event, really?
Also,
And the fire and rescue service.
W1.
WI.
For the-
So the WI didn't go in the river, they actually provided bacon sandwiches, which is a major part of my day. But it was good seeing how Stowe Sebak and the fire authority worked together. And they did, but then unfortunately, when we got to the end, they had to go back. So they missed out on having the WI bacon sandwich. Before we agree the recommendation, I propose that we write to Stowe Sebak separately and write to the chief of the fire authority, thank them for their efforts kindly. Is that?
I'll second that.
Right, is that agreed?
Yeah.
It is only with the people of goodwill that we can do
Yeah,
these things.
exactly.
And then we also suppose we write to the WI and thank them for their what I call community spirited approach to the event. I think it adds something nice that you're down there at the end of it and half the time of day about what you've seen done and whatever. And it's quite nice. So if that's any good.
And ponder how 30 sherry bottles.
Yeah.
Maybe what span of time?
Bran is saying nothing.
So lovely thing.
I resemble that remark.
Okay, right. Well, that's good. In which case we move on to we haven't got a recommendation, have we? Agree the recommendation. Those right, Rabina and John, talking the recommendation. We'll move on. Thank you. In which case we'll move on to Charter Fair, which is the town club.
Yes, Charter Fair took place. Probably one of the nicest. The weather was good. It was very mild. My inbox was empty afterwards, which is always a good sign. Yeah, it seemed to go pretty well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, that's not very good. That was obviously making one of the important facts and figures, but yeah, it seemed to be a good one. All in order.
Tony.
Just, I think I went for a run there early that morning because I like to see what's happening. But like, just a big thank you to the staff of the town council who are out in the streets quite early, backing lorries up and into very close proximities of buildings. And I think we should recognise the work they do with this and other events as well as we have done.
Thank you, Tony. I think one of the things with it is it's always surprising how, and you probably confirm, you know, how quickly it comes into the town, and once it starts coming in, how quickly it's up.
Yeah.
If it's so slick and so smooth, and between the office and Mr. Marshall Nichols, everything flows in and out. And yes, the roads close in their order, which is the same order it always closes in, but suddenly it all seems to come, and then suddenly the town's full, and then the whole ambience of the town changes. But I would like to say that I'd like to sort of thank the councillors who attended and did the stewarding and support the staff, from my point of view. Also, I propose that we should thank Mr. Bloomfield, previous town councillor, who turned out both weeks and volunteered again to actually steward, and he didn't have to, but he turned out and he manned the barrier and took part. So I think we should minute our thanks to Terry in it, because saying, or should we write to Terry? I'm happy that we write to him, thank you. Because I know he's
Dog fair as well, and dog show as well.
he does things and helps us. It's quite remarkable that he wants to still be involved.
Right.
So I'm going to propose that we write to.
Yeah, I'll second that.
All those in favour? Thank you. And are we going to agree the recommendation? Proposer?
Yeah.
Andy, seconded by Blair. All those in favour? Thank you.
Just a comment, good to see Marshall's son slowly
Yeah,
being
yeah,
trained to do the next
yeah.
charter fair.
Yeah, I think he's coming on all right. And
He's coming on very well.
he's been making a few more decisions, and he's on the contract. So it seems to be the natural perception in the family of doing more as his father does less, I expect.
Yeah.
It is in many family businesses, isn't it? You know, that could happen. In which case, we'll move on to Halloween disco, which I think the report says what it says.
It's been a difficult event.
Yeah.
Last couple of years. I think there's a lot that goes on during Halloween. It's not peak time when people are looking for a thing to do. Our recommendation is that we replace it with something maybe in the school holidays when there is a bit less going on and there's a bit more requirement for a fun activity for families. Because otherwise I think there just doesn't really seem to be the desire for it. Yeah.
Rebecca?
I think we should just take the recommendation because what did it say? 30 something tickets, 32 tickets sold for an event. And also at £8 per child, whereas most children want to go trick-or-treating, which is free on that evening and is only available on that evening. So it makes sense to look into another event for children.
Thank you. I mean, we did advertise it quite extensively. We had banners on it. We really did put a push on it.
It's very
There's
difficult.
just other stuff to do that might.
Okay, John.
Yeah, just to throw an idea into the mix, maybe have a quiz night, especially themed Halloween quiz night. A bit later on in the evening, maybe
I can't see it.
on a Friday night. That might attract more people, and not focus. This one's focused on children, focus it on adults.
Would it be, rather than just agree something tonight, the recommendation is to look if there
I'm
are.
just throwing.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
proposing.
I'm never very good at quizzes.
There is deliberately no recommendation of what we might do, keeping it open, and we would obviously bring it forward when we've got a better idea. At the moment, not to budget specifically for it as a Halloween discount.
I agree.
I popped up there to see what was going on. I think the fact that it actually was on the 31st of October, there were lots of children out around Place Hill and other estates actually trick or treating. I think for future events, we need to look at this ticketing structure, because £8 per child is probably it's a bit of an odd way of doing things, in my opinion. It was quieter than it was expected to be, and then next year I believe that we're going to end up having on-foreign fireworks actually on the 31st anyway. So I would agree that something earlier in the week for children to be doing craft events.
Just one other thing to note is it's going to be really difficult to have an event which caters for small children and, you know, mid-teens at the same time, because it's just not very attractive to both age groups, especially not the older children.
Just, you know, I can tell it's generational. Trick or treat wasn't there when I was young. That's come out now. People were all wanting to go to something to do Halloween in Bristol. And we used to do Halloween parties, which was very much that type of thing you did. Are we happy to agree the recommendation and then talk about it at a future meeting?
Yeah.
But I propose Rebecca, seconded by Fran. All those in favour? Thank you. Moving on to something which was well attended. Bonfire and fireworks, which is important deputy town clerk. This one, as Lucy led on it, you want us to lead on the conversation.
Yeah, just say it was a really good night. The fireworks were incredible as always. We managed to get through the lighting of the bonfire without lighting any of our fellow councillors on fire, which I think is always a cause for celebration. It was a little bit the sound system was quiet. Unfortunately, the DJ we had last year, DJ Dan Blaze, wasn't available due to prior commitments. However, he has already been booked in for next year because his style of comparing was very much more engaging and he could be heard kind of across the park. We only had 5 out of 6 traders, unfortunately. Sides, amusement and snacks dropped out. He wasn't well, but I understand he is doing better now, which is good. It was a little bit quiet for some of the traders, having spoken to them, but I believe there was also another event going on at the Bourton Mill Gym at the same time, which may have kind of contributed to some lack of participation. However, it was still a very well attended event.
Well, I was just going, it was packed, there were a good
Yeah.
1,000 people there. And in my view, it was probably not far off the sweet spot. I think last year we were very over attended and it was uncomfortable for people how busy it was. This year it felt safe, it felt quite calm. The car parking was the best I think I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
It's normally pandemonium down there.
And also when we did the litter pick the next day, there was very little. I think all the bags of all the litter pickers combined was about just enough to fill one actual bin bag. And most of that was just kind of leftover bits of rockets. So thank you to the people of Buckingham for being so clean and tidy.
Yeah.
John?
I would say, well, the firework display was probably the best I've seen.
Yeah.
I don't know what exactly about it was good, but it just was impressive.
Yeah.
There were some moments where I thought, wow, this is really good. So, you know.
Andy?
Just through you, Chairman, and through Lucy, just to thank Buckingham Table for turning up Sunday to help clear up, which they've done for many years.
Yeah.
We gratefully.
If you propose that, I'll second it. You'll vote to right to thank them.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's important that we keep that goodwill going. From my point of view, Chair, I thought that Lucy arranged the weather perfectly in the sense that it stopped raining just in time for people to come down to the fireworks.
Yeah.
Thank you for arranging that.
You're welcome.
Can you arrange it a couple of hours earlier so the staff aren't in the rain for that next year?
I'll do my best.
Appreciate it.
We're gonna have to get together on that one.
Yeah, you know, you can arrange just slightly drive.
I'll work collaboratively with them.
I looked out the door and I looked at the weather, I thought, oh my dear. And then I looked out the door again, I thought, marvellous, somebody's done something, it stopped. But I was always confident it would be dry for the fireworks. Madam Mayor.
Can I propose that we accept all 3 recommendations?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that agreed?
Yeah.
That's seconded by Lucy. All those in favour? Thank you. That's end of those lists. That's quite a lot. Can we just record our thanks in the minutes, please, for all the staff's cooperation working with that? Because you talk about we've just gone through that very quickly. I personally would like to propose that we record our thanks to all the ground staff, maintenance, the office, and everyone involved in those events, because without them we couldn't do it, and the volunteers and such like who were involved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that agree?
Yeah. Gosh.
We don't need to vote on that, we can just after record it. Okay, which item 14 action list, please always feel. Oh yeah, Christmas, sorry, yeah, you're absolutely right, Christmas card competition. I just, as I said, I started out with bonfire and we've got it up to Christmas. Yeah, Christmas card competition, please comment at will.
I think noted, great.
Yeah, lovely cards.
It was a really difficult one to judge, really difficult.
Yeah.
There was, I think, 18
will you be-
altogether.
I think it's good that it's got sponsorship. I think it's I think they're appropriate, those cards. If I was getting a card from a young person, that looks
Lovely.
lovely.
Yeah.
I quite personally have a favourite, but I won't say which one it is. Yeah, I think they're quite nice. If you were getting a card like that for your door at Christmas, it would definitely cheer you up, wouldn't it? They're bright, they're cheerful, and they show, even if the handwriting's better than mine, on it.
Yeah, me handwriting.
You know. Thank you. In action, are we just gonna? We've only got we agree the recommendation, proposer, please.
Yeah.
Proposed from there, seconded by Ravina, all those in favour? Thank you. In which case, now we got on to the action. It always feels like you're going somewhere on action, isn't it? Like you've got to go on action and do something. Sometimes it's whatever as it would be. Is there any concerns, comments, or notes on the action list, things you think we need to do? Lizzie?
Has the swan been collected by the Buckingham Society yet?
I'm almost definitely positive it probably hasn't.
Don't believe it.
Okay, well, where is it in our way? Has it been fed?
I'm sure it's fine.
It has been fed. Yeah, and we don't want the swan starving to death that could be collected. Although, if you drive on the way to Happy and you slow down, there's a lovely one of our swans at the end of one of the drives. Somebody bought one in.
Yeah, she's the artist that designed it.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's
I just happened to see it the other day when I was standing for traffic lights or doing something. I looked at it, I thought, that's really kept well, that swan. And it looks nice at the end of there. It's beautiful.
On their
seeing
drive,
it.
yeah.
So they are, it's nice that they put it out so other people can appreciate it. I definitely did as I was waiting in the traffic and past the time of day. But anyway, so there's nothing on those. Are we happy with that?
Yeah.
Do we need to do any news releases that we haven't done? Will we be doing one? I think which should be done about the we've done something about the Christmas cards, haven't we?
Yeah.
Gone out yet, but it's definitely.
I haven't been asked for
Well, I
a
think-
quote yet for it. I don't think we're
propose
out.
that we
Can't remember.
do that now. Otherwise, Christmas will have gone.
We heard, so if we
We might have done.
haven't, then I apologise. And I would have written it, it's probably something my inbox will keep you away from.
I propose that that's done this week and sent out. Is that seconded?
Yeah.
Seconded
If
by
we quote from
John.
there.
Although the vote and a quote from the mayor, not me.
Yeah.
Right, that's agreed. It's the mayor's Christmas card, not mine.
Yeah.
Chairman's announcement, I've got something to say. We will, we intimated in the meeting about what's happened in the town centre with debtors. Have I got that right?
The what?
But
The debtor lounge.
you'll notice we didn't say that they had sort of were going to be engaged in some of the things we did over Christmas, and and they'd also volunteered to do this and do that, and they were getting very much actually becoming part of our community. And he said, I'm very concerned what's happened to them, and that having that shop empty or that business empty is not ideal. Fran.
Yeah, so what's actually happened is the building work that's been going on above it has caused a massive water leak. They've had to close. They're going to have to. I was in correspondence with the properties director for the company yesterday, which I forwarded on to Robin to see if he can deal with it, and I've forwarded it to Catherine as well because there's a planning issue going on there as well, I think. But it's they're having to replace. They're going to have to, once it's watertight again, replace the floors, replace the ceilings. It's a complete mess. I went past there on Tuesday last week, and they were clearing all the pictures out and everything, loading them into vans. They've lost their business there for Christmas. I've got a real concern, a real hope that they will manage to reopen again, because to lose a business with that frontage and that impact in town is just really, really awful for our town economy.
I mean, it's too. I could put it. There will be people who work there. There will be people whose jobs are in the short term not being employed. And it takes quite a long time to build a business up. So it is concerning. I am in correspondence with people. I'm not going to say what I think the responses I've got, but not here. But this is a matter which we can't at this stage. Maybe it's something that we should seek to be put on future planning committee to discuss, because I think there's some issues around the whole thing that's happened there that I think needs some frank discussion with us all. Madam Mayor.
Just to say that I believe from the posts on social media that the company's put out, that it would seem that the employees are being paid.
Yeah.
Because they are asking if there's anyone locally that needs volunteers to come and help out with any things over Christmas time. So I would assume from the tone of that the employees are still getting their wages and they are trying to find them something to do.
They actually have been in contact with them. They might be helping us as with the Christmas events and stuff. Actually do that. Well, I think if you've just in that situation, probably quite positive to be doing something. I think. Yeah, you know, so we haven't got any right there, but I think maybe this is something that needs to be discussed in a bit more detail and length at the planning committee. You can't really record it. It's just you can't have something like that happen in the community and say nothing. And I'm just concerned for all the individuals involved, especially the ones who've worked in it. Which brings us to the penultimate item, which is the next meeting, which will be.
Can't be July.
No, it's not. It's on the 9th of February. 2026. We've always got the right. We beat you. We beat you. We got it changed on this bit of paper here, but thank you, Andy, for being so.
Oh, I was looking forward to July.
Aren't we all?
But you're going to need
9th of February.
9th of February. We had discussed that before the meeting, and I think it was a typo. But if that's the only mistake what we've done, I think that's a small bit. I thank everyone for their contributions tonight. It's been interesting, and some of the things and the positivity. I think that's the important thing, the positivity about what's gone on. And we'll all meet again in the new year. And too early to wish anyone anything else, but all goodwill. Thank you.
Thank you.